Senator, how are you?
I am doing great.
Good
Doing
seeing
great.
you
The
again.
sun is out.
The sun is out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll say that you brought the sun with you.
I would like to say I did that. Nobody would believe it, but I'd like to say it.
Right. Well, in the time that we have, I know you're on a tight schedule. Let's deal with a number of issues. We've been talking locally a lot about the issues dealing with Detroit and entrepreneurship and
Right.
schools and Flint water situation. But I'm going to take you to a different area.
Sure.
I was in Washington fairly recently, spent an entire day at the State Department briefing that they had for the Association of Opinion Journalists. And it was very clear after we talked to all of the undersecretaries from the different regions of the world that the Obama administration, somewhere between now and the end of the year, they want TPP, okay? They want that trade deal.
Right.
Your thoughts about that, because their position is this is not just about economics. This is also strategic. And if the United States is not in on this, calling the shots, setting the rules, then it's going to probably be China.
Well, I very much understand their perspective, and it is strategic, but they're talking about a trade agreement that covers about 40% of the economies in the world. So it's really important that it be done right. And so I've supported some trade agreements, opposed other trade agreements. To me, the bottom line is we want to export product and not jobs. And my concern...
But do you have reservations?
Yeah, I have real concerns about
Okay.
this one because, in fact, as it's written, I can't see myself supporting this as this is written because they don't tackle one of the biggest issues that we've heard from the auto industry. Ford has been at the front of the line on currency manipulation and what this means in terms of, opening things up for Japan, but not dealing with the fact that they manipulate their currency in a way so that their cars are artificially lower than in price because of currency manipulation, not because of cost differential, but because they're manipulating their currency. This is a very big issue, and it's not about even getting automobiles into Japan, which we can't right now. It's about our competition with Japan to go into other markets like India, over 1 billion people, or Brazil, or other areas. So when we get into this, the rules matter. And my concern is right now that I don't think we are seeing tough enough rules as it relates to enforcing what's being agreed to.
How legitimate do you think their argument is that trade will happen no matter what, and it's a question now whether or not we are going to be in there calling the shots?
Well, I
because
agree with
because
that,
at first
but-
it looked like China wasn't
Right.
concerned and China wasn't interested. Now they're saying China is very much interested.
I think that's true, but not at all costs. I mean, I think it matters. I remember back with South Korea trade agreement. I had President Bush negotiate an agreement. I had great concerns from an auto industry standpoint. So did our businesses. So did the UAW. President Obama came into office. We asked him to go back, take another look, to tighten up enforcement, to do a number of things, which he did. And then there was support for that agreement. So from my standpoint, this is about 40% of the world's economy, and making sure we get it right for American businesses and American workers and American farmers and so on. And I think that's a very, very big decision.
All right. We'll see where it shakes out. This feeling seems to be that if something's going to happen, most likely it will happen in the lame duck session. Nothing's going to really happen on this before election
Right.
because it's too politically charged, but maybe somewhere between after election day and the new president is sworn in, something might get done. Do you think, knowing the politics of Washington, that may happen one way or the other if you can iron out these differences?
I do think that's when it would pass if it were to pass. And I do know it's a priority for the president. But again, for me, this is about, in a global economy, are we creating a race up, lifting wages, protecting our air and water, making sure that we are protecting the middle class, or is it a race down? We don't want this to be a race down to the lowest wage. I'm not interested in saying, well, they're making $1.50 someplace else and we've got to compete down to that. We've got to be competing up. And so for me, that's the basics. We want to trade. We do trade. We're an export state. We need to export. But again, we want to export our products and not our jobs. And that's, for me, the fundamental issue.
All right. Final question on agriculture. Been a big issue for you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are